Everything you need to know about JavaScript arrays in 5 minutes. If you don't like and subscribe right now, I'll find you and I'll make you regret it. So, as mentioned in our JavaScript data types video, an array is simply used to store some data. So for example, this array here stores a bunch of numbers. Arrays start at the index 0. So if we wanted to find out what was in the third position of our array, we would type array.at2, and that would return 14. In this example, we have two different arrays and we want to join them together. We can simply use the concat command, which concatenates them together, which just means join them together. So we can have our array of 1, 2, 3, our array of 3, 4, 5, call concat on them, and it will become an array of 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. Another function we can use is the every function. The every function returns a boolean, so true or false, depending on if every value matches the given context. For example, if we wanted to see that every single number in the array was less than 20, we could call AREvery value less than 20. And it would return true because every single number is less than 20. On the other hand, if we changed it to value less than 15, it will return false because we have the number 18 and 15, which are in fact not less than 15. Similarly, we have a .sum function. This is similar to the every function, except it's only looking for one value that meets the criteria. If we use the same example as before with less than 15, it will actually return true this time, because there are some elements that are less than 15, and it doesn't have to be all the elements. If we want to quickly replace some elements in an array, we can use the fill function. A basic example is just putting one number. This is going to replace our entire array with this one number. We can also give it a starting value. So if we say arfill 5, 1, our array will change to 2, 5, 5, 5, 5. The filter function is similar to sum and every in the way that we're checking a criteria, except it doesn't return true or false, but it returns all the elements that match this criteria. So if we were using this array and we want to get all the numbers that were greater than or equal to 6, it will return us an array of 6, 8, 10. The .find function works very similarly, but just gets us one value. So if we were looking for values greater than 5, it will return us 6. Similarly, the findLast function gives us one value, but finds the very last value. So it would give us a return value of 10. The findIndex value works very similarly, but instead of returning the literal element, it will return the index that it's in. Using the findIndex function, it will give us the number 2, because 6 is the first number that is bigger than 5, and it's stored in the location of 2. FindLastIndex is going to return 4, because our element 10 is stored in the index 4. The indexOf function is a very basic function that just returns us the index of the element that we give it. So if we say index of 6, it will return 2. Similar to most languages, we can call a .forEach. This will loop through the array and allows us to do whatever we want to each value. So in this example, we're visiting each index and just printing the value that comes out. The includes function returns true or false if the array has the given value. So if we say ar.includes 3, it will return true because 3 is in our array. If we say AR includes 7, it will return false, because that doesn't exist. The .join function simply turns our array into a string, and joins them by whatever string we want to. For example, we can say ARjoin dash, and it will return our elements with a dash in between. The map function is very similar to forEach. We go through the array and apply some kind of instruction to each element, except the map function returns a new array, whereas the forEach function might not return an array. Similar to stacks, we have a pop function. The pop function will remove the last element of the array, so 5, and return this to us. It also removes the number 5 from the original array. The opposite of this is the shift function. It does the same thing as pop, except applies this to the very first element. The push function simply adds an element to the end of the array. So we can say push 6, and 6 will appear at the end of the array. The unshift value adds an element to the start of the array. So if I said unshift 6, 6 would be added to the start of the array. The reduce function goes through the array and adds it to a new value. So with this line of code, we have an accumulator, and it's going to add each value to accumulate. As well as this, we can put the number 5 in the end to add 5 once it's completed. So it's going to add 1, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5, which makes 15, and then it will add 5 because we asked it to over here. And that gives us 20. Finally, the reverse function just reverses the array. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you, be sure to save it in a playlist and check out our other videos. Cheers.